Hello everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another one of our weekly Kaguya-sama Love is War ultra romantic discussion videos. Today we're here to talk all about episode 3. Before we get into that though, make sure that you hit that like button. Let's try to see if we can get this video to say like 200 likes before next week. I bet that you can do it. I want to see it. 200 likes. But with that said though, we're going to go ahead and dive right into this week's episode, shall we? So, with that said, this week, I have thoughts. So for the most part, I'm not going to lie to you, I found the second two skits to be the funniest part, and the first part I thought was not very... I mean, it was funny, but I was more so annoyed. So I'm going to say this. Ladies, and not even just ladies. This goes beyond ladies. This goes into everybody. Listen to me. You do not, under any circumstance, have the right to invade your partner's sense of privacy just because you think they might be cheating on you. If you think they're cheating on you, ask them directly. I'm not gonna lie, that's a big yikes. Like, you have no right to hire, okay, if you think your partner's cheating on you, right, find evidence for sure, but hiring investigators is kind of a yikes. That's what I'm gonna say. Hiring investigators is a yikes. I'm not gonna lie, snooping on their phone, like, without them knowing is shitty. If you think somebody's cheating on you, ask to see their phone. Don't just snoop and think it's okay, because that's also not cool. And I don't like that the characters were doing that. Now, mind you, the only character that wasn't was Ino. That's my big thing. So that's what I'll say, is this week, the thing that I didn't like was the way Kaguya and I believe the character's name is Nagisa behaved. The only character that was making sense in that scene was Ino, who was like, this is weird, and at every turn they kept saying like, no, she caught him cheating, so therefore he is cheating. It's like, talking to another woman is not cheating, you know? Like, and also, as I said, like, snooping on the phone without permission is not cool. If you think he's cheating, ask to see his phone. And if he doesn't give you the phone, then yeah, that's a pretty big red flag, but to just snoop is kind of shitty. And hiring an investigator because you trust him and want to prove that he's right was like, no. And again, I understand that it was supposed to be comedic, but I was just in yikes mode to the point where I was just not laughing. Like, I wasn't laughing until Kaguya was just like, no, it's not cheating. It's not cheating if they go to a karaoke bar. That's not cheating. What are you talking about? Like, that was what I laughed. But prior to that, yikes. Still though, the rest of the episode was particularly wonderful. I liked, again, and I did think that everything that happened surrounding it was funny. I liked the way Ino was reacting to everything. And it sort of like cements, I don't know, to me it was a bummer because it cemented that like Kaguya still doesn't really know what she's talking about when it comes to romantic situations, and it does make me really want to see Kaguya and Shirogane actually get together this season, because I want to see the show actually like dive into the new battle that would happen after these two get together, which is the new battle becomes who wins in certain like situations once you're already together, right? Like, sure, now you guys are dating, but who holds hands first? Who kisses first? Who confesses that they love each other first? You know what I mean? Like, stuff like that. Like, who proposes first? You know, who asks who to move in first, or if they want to find their own place first? You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Who's gonna do this first? Who's gonna do that first? There's still a whole mountain of things that come with a relationship. The relationship doesn't end as soon as you get together. Like, the show shouldn't end there, in my opinion. I think that there's more to explore in terms of like what, like, who quote unquote wins in each situation, just based off the fact that Kaguya still has no idea how love works. Because Nagisa, I'm not gonna lie, everything in the Nagisa, Tsubasa, and I believe what's her name, I can't remember the new girl's name, but she's sort of like, she's kind of like Kaguya. She's like related to Kaguya in a way. Those three are just yikes, just big yikes. All three of them. And so I was like, that no. Like, mind you, the not quite Kaguya girl not yeah, not quite Kaguya. She was really funny, and I thought the second and third skits were so funny, and I thought the ending to the third skit was so cute. Like, it was just the beginning, I was like, that's not funny, right? Like, not that it wasn't funny, that it was just, that was more uncomfortable, like, because it was funny, I guess, but I was more so laughing at how uncomfortable it was. I was like, ugh. Because like, the thing is, you know that there's people like that, who treat their partners like that. It's an extreme version of it, but, like, that exists. So I was like, that's not funny. All right, like, it just made me uncomfy. I was like, that's not good. But seeing how it affected Kaguya's, like, second cousin twice removed or whatever was actually really funny. Like, seeing Shirogane accidentally step on her skull was really funny, and then trying to explain, like, so I want to get this guy, but in order to get the guy, I have to steal the guy, and they're like, no, right? Like, that's a bad idea, but they end up going for it anyway, because they just kind of feel bad for her. And I'm not gonna lie, Nagisa's kind of the worst. Like, the one girl's kind of awful, so I'm kind of, like, I'm not saying I'm okay with this, but, like, she's kind of a bad person, and this isn't the first time we've seen Nagisa be a bad person during Kaguya, like, throughout the 3 seasons now. So I'm not saying that she deserves to have her heart broken or anything, but, like, if they did break up and not quite Kaguya showed up and got the boy after they broke up, I really wouldn't have a problem with that. Because honestly, Nagisa kind of is not a good partner. She's a bit manipulative-y, and a bit maybe gaslighty, like, just sort of not a great person, a bit of a psycho. So, like, I think Tsubasa maybe could find somebody better. I believe that's the boy's name, is Tsubasa. I feel like he could probably find somebody better. Might not actually be not quite Kaguya girl, because she's also not great. I think he should just go find somebody else. That's what I think. But I did think that the scene of her, like, explaining her feelings to the others was funny. And I'm not gonna lie, the more we get with Ishigami, the more I'm like, he might actually be the one who gets it the most. Like, the way that he reacts to, like, why don't you just tell him how you feel? And then Shirogane's like, what do you mean? Right? And, like, the other character's like, what do you mean? It's like, yeah, just tell him. And I'm like, I'm not gonna lie, just, if you were, like, head over heels crazy for somebody who was in a relationship with your friend, right? Like, I understand that telling them is awkward, but bottling that up is gonna hurt you one day, you know? Like, don't try to break them up, but just make it clear that it's like, hey, I can't really hang out with you guys when you're together. It makes me feel bad, because you guys are my friends, but I do kind of have feelings for him. So when he's around, I'm just not gonna be there, right? Something, anything, right? Because Ishigami knows, like, that's gonna hurt you, right? Ishigami's just grown into this, like, I don't know, he's growing into a genuinely solid person, and I think we see that by the time we get to the third skit of the episode, where we get, like, the 10-cent game, and we see that, like, pretty much everybody outside of Ino likes Ishigami, because he asks, like, if you like me, say yes, if you don't, say no. And everybody says yes, right? And Ino's just like, I can't believe you said yes to yourself, right? And then Shirogane even says, like, you said we all like you, right? But what about Ino? And he's like, oh, well, she's just kind of like that, so she didn't count. And I'm like, here's the thing, though. Not gonna lie, I kind of ship Ino, and Ishigami. Again, I also ship Ino with the other girl with the pink hair who we saw from last season. But, like, Ino and Ishigami is not a bad ship either, so I'm not gonna lie, I kind of think that she might have some feelings for him, because the way that she acts around this man is, like, that type of crush where you're like, I don't like him, that's crazy, and you see all the things that she does for him, but says, like, oh, but I don't like him, though, right? It's like, right, you know what I mean? Where it's, like, that kind of crush where you, like, you actively pretend like you don't like the person, even though deep down you know you like that person. That's kind of the vibes that I get from Ishigami and Ino, which it would be interesting if those two got together. It does leave Chika as sort of the only single friend of the group, which is understandable, because Chika's, okay, I know that I always say Hayasaka best girl, right? But secretly and reluctantly, I am a Chika stan. So Chika, Chika as my favorite is kind of insane. But I want Chika and Hayasaka both to, like, find people, you know? Like, I do want them to be happy. Actually, the more I think about it, Chika and Hayasaka should get together. I know people are gonna be like, what? That might be my crack ship. That might be, like, the ship that I have no... Well, no, because crack ships are usually, like, from 2 separate shows. Not always, but usually from 2 separate shows. So that doesn't quite fit the definition, but it's my, like, wild out of left field pairing. It would be Hayasaka and Chika, because, like, that would be kind of funny. But yeah, I'm realizing now that Chika might be the one member of the group who's not, because I used to think it was going to be Chika and Ishigami, but obviously, like, things have changed and that's not quite the case. I guess Chika just kind of plays, like, mama hen to the group most days, especially with Shirogane. Yeah, interesting. I don't know. I'm thinking about that. I'm just kind of, like, rambling out loud now, but I do think that's interesting. But I did say that the episode ends on sort of this cute note, right? And it does, because when when Shirogane is able to sort of, like, suss out that, you know, Kaguya is cheating, he manages to trick his way out of it, so he doesn't lose the game. Although that was the closest I think no, it's almost the closest we've come to a confession. Because I was like, that was scary, though. Like, but he did manage to pull through the skin of his teeth. And after he does so, we get this nice little epilogue, right? Because 3 people confess to cheating, and it's Chika, Kaguya, and Ishigami, much to Shirogane and Ino's dismay. But after that, we get this nice little epilogue where Shirogane kind of confronts Kaguya and says, like, hey, so when we played the 10 yen game, were we playing that because you overheard about the group date at the karaoke bar? Because, like, I know that a lot of people are saying that I left with a girl, which we know that Kaguya knows did happen, right? But he's like, but I want you to know that nothing happened, and I want at least you to believe me. And Kaguya's like, wait, specifically me, right? Like, Kaguya's like, oh shit, like, that's not a confession, but it is, like, it's kind of a cheeky way to be like, please don't be mad at me. I care a lot about you, without him saying it, right? And she's like, do I believe you? Maybe I do, or maybe I don't, right? And she sort of saunters off. I'm like, ooh, Kaguya, well played, my girl, well played, right? Because the way she plays it, right? She goes, maybe I do, maybe I don't. She saunters off, right? And I'm like, nicely done, my girl. That definitely makes up for the mishap from last week and the beginning of this episode. But again, I was like, nicely played, my girl. That's my Kaguya. That's my quick thinking Kaguya. But what I love is that my boy, my sweet bean, I don't think he noticed. But he's like, wait, huh? What does that mean, right? But Kaguya left her coin on the desk, and it's facing up. So the I believe it's the I can't remember which side is facing up. I think it's the heads is facing up, and that means yes. Right? Or no, it's tails is facing up, which means yes. So it's she does believe him, right? She knows that he does care about her and that it wasn't about Hayasaka. Which I really like that, because I really ship Kaguya and Shirogane. Like, I know that I often say that in anime sometimes the canon ships are kind of the boring ones, because it's like, yeah, well, of course, right? And they're always like the goody two-shoes characters, right? Like, it's part of the reason why, like, even though I like it, I think Deku and Uraraka is super friggin' boring, because it's so basic. Right? It's like, yeah, he's a boy, she was a girl, could I make it any more obvious? Right? Type of situation. Whereas, like, with Kaguya, the way they handle the relationship is so freaking cute and so fun, and these two characters are also so chaotic and not even, like, kind of taking cues from Konosuba, where it's like they're not even really the greatest of people, you know? Like, they could be kind of shitheads sometimes, but it still just works, and they really do belong together to a point where I kind of can't help but really ship it and want to see them get together by the end of it. So yeah, that's my 10 cents instead of 2 cents, haha, on this week's episode. It was really good. Like, again, I did think the first skit was like a yikes, right? I probably even made the thumbnail like big yikes, because, like, it was a big yikes. because I was just like, I couldn't disagree more. And for me, the comedy didn't land, but I'm sure for a lot of people it will. But yeah, generally speaking, I think the rest of the episode was super, super friggin' funny and did have me smiling pretty much the whole time. But that's all my thoughts this week. So, outro. And that's going to do it for today's discussion, everybody. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for listening. As always, I want to give a big, big thank you to the lovely people who help support us over on Patreon. And if you too would like to have your name scrolling past the screen, then be sure to check out that Patreon link in the description. And of course, a big, big thank you has to go to Asaki VT, Elizabeth Just Elizabeth, JCran23, Jeremy P, Matt87 Eagle, Shadow Creative, Shiorins, Stephen G, Stevie W, Trap Master, Trevor W, and Tristan G. Thank you all so much for your continued support. It means the world to me. Thank you so much. Check me out over on Twitch, on Twitter, all the fun stuff. Links to everything are in the first link in the description. Thank you so much for watching / listening, and I will see you in the next one.